Okay, I'm joined once again by Bill Barnes on the weekly Wednesday weigh-in. It is Monday morning. We've just finished recording our Facebook Live appetizer show for you guys. Bill Barnes, we got that out of the way. Now it's time for the main event.
Ring the bell. Let's go.
I need a boxing bell, man. We got to get one of those. Bill, I mean, we talked on it a little bit already, but we got our new setup here. Last week, we tried this at your place. This week, we got the microphones. We got the video. We got lights. I mean, we're in business, man.
We are in complete business. And here's the deal. You want a boxing bell?
I do, Bill.
By God, I'll give you one.
Really?
Sure. You want a boxing bell?
Yeah. Get the show started. That's not a boxing bell.
All right. Let me find the right bell.
Oh, look at this. Look at this guy.
All right. Hold on, man.
This is Bill's contribution to the show, guys.
You want a boxing bell?
I do. How long's it gonna take?
Christ.
Whoa.
All right, we'll get to it in a minute.
I provide you microphones and cameras and lights, a TV, and
one job. The studio lights are blinding me right now. Okay, I feel like I'm being tortured in a World War II, chamber here with the lights. It's worse than being waterboarded. Go ahead. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, like I said, new beginnings at the podcast. I'm excited about all this. We're on YouTube now, and you got some feedback already from some of your buddies who were saying, Bill, yeah, that video is great, man. Yeah. So we got some new listeners.
Well, first of all, I want to compliment the studio here. You've upgraded. We got the American flag behind us. I feel like I'm on the old Wally George set from Channel 56 KDOC in Orange County back in the early to mid 80s. And with the lunatic Wally George spouting off his extreme right-wing Republican stuff, which is not a bad thing. But anyway, I had some feedback from some guys, pretty high-powered people in the industry, let's say.
Industry, okay.
And they loved it. They liked it. They liked the plain talk. They like the no-nonsense approach. We don't sugarcoat much. At least I don't. They liked it. And they're going to continue to listen. Hopefully, they're going to spread the love to other people and share with others that they know. And what else? Yeah. Some of my lady friends that I shared with,
Ooh.
I told them, hey, adult language, earmuffs, maybe. We don't have we don't edit anything. They go, oh, no problem. Yeah, I'm used to it. Yeah, oh, no. Well, I sent it to a couple of them, and lo and behold, I haven't heard from them. So, some people can handle it, some people can't. But that's just the way we are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, we're very fan friendly. We want the listeners to be involved, to see our ugly mugs, but also send in questions and contents, suggestions, all that. So appreciate all the people who've tuned in and contacted me. So let's go over a few comments from listeners, Bill, a few questions, if you will. I know you're a big fan of questions, right?
Questions.
Okay. So you remember, Bill, Gonzaga beat USC, dominated them, a game you called.
Yes.
And then they went around and played a crazy game with UCLA.
Yes.
A buzzer beater.
Yes.
So our question from Will Tarico was, would you have rather lost a game like USC did to Gonzaga or the way UCLA lost? And so my initial thoughts, Bill, are that a blowout versus a buzzer beating loss is, think of it from like a dating perspective. If you go out on a date and right away, okay, this is a terrible date. It's over from the get-go. There's no reason to continue. Okay. But if you were kind of strung along all night, hoping for that good night kiss or whatever, and then you got denied, that would probably hurt a little bit more. So I would go with the blowout. I'd rather get destroyed. I would rather lose by 30 points because then my heart wasn't in the game. What do you think, Bill?
Well, a loss is a loss. Okay. You can't, change an L. However, as long as you've played the best you can play, like UCLA did that night, you have nothing to hang your head about. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And if you can walk away saying, I left it all on the court, I left it all on the field, that is the loss I would rather have, where I've given everything I have, other than play like shit, get dominated because you didn't bring your best game to the table. You weren't prepared. That to me is inexcusable as far as not being ready So I would rather lose like UCLA did.
Okay, playing your heart out and
Yes.
having your heart ripped from you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm used to that. So
yeah.
just another heart ripping episode.
Comparatively to, I mean, but you understand my analogy, Bill, as far as your dates?
I do. In fact, I had one last night. I had one last night where I knew right off, I go, this is a complete freaking disaster. This is a train wreck waiting to just spew a lot of volcanic ash, and it's going to be a complete and utter hazardous material spill if this goes any further. So, I kind of wrote it in a little bit, had to try to have a good time. Probably drank a little more than I should have just to numb the effects. It was so bad that finally, this is how completely insecure this lady was. I was sitting there. Luckily, the inside restaurants, bars are open now. You can sit at the bar, but what they do is they put tables between every two seats. So you have your own little private pod, right? So the young lady and I had our private pod, and we're talking. And first of all, her pictures looked a lot better online than she was in person.
That happens.
Well, you know what? This happened big time. I almost said, hey, you know what? Next time you post your high school pictures and you look like you could be your mother, is not a good idea. So I said, silly me, I went with it. And we, first of all, she doesn't drink. So that's strike one.
Well, you got a driver at least. Well,
strike one.
Oh, that's strike one.
And pink lemonade is not my drink of choice.
No.
So I knew right off, okay, this is all bad. So make a long story short, I said something to the waitress who came up and was getting drinks for her people, and she was next to me. We talked about something. I just kind of, out of small talk, said something to her, and that must have just completely sparked the irritation in the lady that I was with, because she goes, I'm not comfortable. And she got up and left.
Whoa.
And I said, I should have done that 45 minutes ago. So
you'd have to, pink lemonades are at least cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And what irritated me is she pulled out her card to pay for this. I said, I got it. Okay. Relax there spendthrift. I got it. And so she got her purse, got her jacket, and walked out. And I said, why didn't I do this an hour ago?
Wow.
So anyway, it all worked out. And that's one of those losses that, going right in, that
it wasn't our day, guys.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm sure there's going to be more dating stories.
A guy my age has no business dating. I should just, hunker down inside my house and just live like a hermit. And if something falls in my lap, I won't shoo it away, but I'm certainly not going to, run and chase. I've never been one to run and chase, but I've worked hard. I've worked a little bit, but I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
So any of you out there that are single that are watching this, that don't look like, that don't post high school pictures on your dating sites, send the show an email with a current picture. By the way.
Current picture. Yes. That is a lesson to men and women, an updated version of your photos, for goodness sake.
That is just, come on. That's just downright criminal to do that.
That is absolutely. That's cruel and unusual punishment. That's totally unacceptable. Yeah. Well, let's swing over to a baseball question, Bill.
Certainly.
You and I have umpired a great deal. And this question came from Captain Maynard Bajorquez, the West Point graduate, and of course, a real Hondo Prep graduate. He said, I have a question for you and Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes. Wow. That's respect, Bill.
No, it's when you're old.
Yeah, well.
And he's a West Point graduate. He knows respect. He knows how to treat older gentlemen correctly.
Yeah. And you. Right. So a question for you. Did you ever see pitchers throw a unique way in your umpiring days? He sent us a video here of kind of some weird deliveries. I thought a video might spark a good conversation. So, Bill, I will say for me, man, any guy the problem with these submarine guys that like try to scrape the ground is, at least the levels we've worked, they think they can do it. And most of them are a little effectively wild, we'll say. But what other pitching deliveries?
I always loved working submarine guys. And I'll tell you why. Because their pitches always rose. instead of sunk.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they were starting from 2 inches off the ground, and they were usually brushing the knees or a little higher, and it made it real easy to call balls and strikes. You didn't have to worry about these guys throwing spitters and splitters and all this forkball shit that were bouncing 15 feet in front of the plate, and these dog shit catchers couldn't catch them, and you're getting pelted back there.
Yeah.
I always liked submarine guys, and I saw quite a few of them. And you're right, they don't last long. They usually get torched, within 5 or 6 batters that coming in. I did see once a ambidextrous guy pitch.
Did he rotate?
Yes.
Every batter?
Yes. He had a
special glove.
A special glove that he could put on either hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an ambidextrous pitcher, and he was pretty effective. He was pretty good.
Interesting.
So that's about the strangest. I've seen all kinds of crap.
What's funny is
those are the two that stand out.
They have to declare. They made a rule. I remember when the first ambidextrous guy came out, because with switch hitters, it was just a back and forth game. So the pitcher had to declare. You guys have probably seen. I think he plays for the A's or did. There was a pitcher for the A's. But yeah, we've seen some of it in the minor leagues and stuff. One of my strange, I don't know if this answers the question, Maynard, but this is one of the strangest situations I've ever been in. We were in a 18 inning game. I was on the plate. Rough night in Winnipeg, Bill. Something about that place. Always long, crazy games in Winnipeg.
Oh, the peg.
And let's see. The visiting team was Kansas City. They were out of pitching. They were the visiting team, and they one of the starting pitchers said, "Hey, I can throw left-handed." He was a right-hander. He goes, "I can throw left-handed." So he came in the game in the 18th, the runner on base, whatever, and he was throwing pitches left-handed. And he had never done it before, but he said, "I can throw." He was okay. He wasn't great. He threw a few strikes. Anyway, the winning run got on third base, and they got the bright idea, "Hey, we're going to intentionally walk this guy." And it was hard enough for the guy to try to throw strikes, let alone to try to throw an intentional walk. So wild pitch over the catcher's head, the winning run scores. I finally walk off the field 6 hours later, but that was crazy seeing a guy throw left-handed who was not ambidextrous. He was just trying to throw left-handed.
Interesting.
That was
well,
a crazy
at least, his ineptness got you out of there.
Yeah, we'd still be there. My goodness. Thank you, Maynard, for the question.
Great question.
And Maynard, appreciate you tuning in every week. I saw this in college. It's starting to happen more in pro ball too. This herky jerky stuff guys are doing where they're pretend to be a slow delivery and then they do fast delivery, or they pretend to be in a stretch and the wind up, all this deceptive crap. It's like, why can't you just go up on the mound and just beat a guy? Why do you got to do all this fancy hoopla stuff? You know what I'm talking about, Bill? Those crazy, stupid deliveries guys would do.
Yeah.
Quick pitches.
Nothing phases me.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
Whatever.
At umpires, you got to be ready. Okay. Let's see. All right. We can't have a show without hearing from Margie. Bill, come on. Margie, one of our most loyal listeners.
Margie, God, the pandemic's winding down, sweetie. Quit being a shut-in. Get out and enjoy life. Quit listening to us. No, actually don't.
No, hey, we're here for you, Margie. And she sent me a clip actually on YouTube. It says Bill Barnes could be the next Don Rickles or Don Tickles, as she spelled it. And
you know where her mind's at.
You guys want to see something funny? It's a YouTube clip. Don Rickles in a Dodger uniform, timeless sorta, and he's kind of making fun of some players. Some of the things he said I find hilarious, but some of them you probably couldn't say these days.
Don Rickles would be completely unpopular and would not have a shtick nowadays.
Yeah,
it's
too
good.
Sensitive.
It's good that he died when he died, because he would not make it in today's woke cancel culture. Let's be nice to everybody. World, unless you want to go burn cities down.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that stuff in a second.
Don, rest in peace, brother. You were funny. I loved you. Great comedian. Loved to watch him on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, back when talk show hosts were talk show hosts and they weren't sellout, two-faced pieces of shit like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was, all.
Let me tell you a story about Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel used to be the sports guy.
Are you going to tell the story? You've told the story 3 times.
I'm going to say it again, just for the folks that haven't listened, because I like saying it, especially now that he's becoming more woke, more left-wing. Okay. Jimmy Kimmel, for those of you that don't know, was the sports guy when he was still probably living in his mother's basement in the mid-90s. And he was the sports guy for KROQ radio with Kevin and Bean. June 14th, I want to say 1995 or 96. It's Flag Day for those of you that don't know that. And it's also Donald Trump's birthday.
Wow.
Quite coincidental. He goes, and another sport, that idiotic voice he is, on another related topic for Flag Day, in honor of Flag Day, I want to send out a shout out to Greg Louganis. Okay. Come on, Jimmy.
Not very classy.
Not very classy. Yeah, it was funny then. It's not funny now. And for a guy like yourself, who's become a two-faced little bitch over the years, you need to come out and apologize.
Yeah, where's the public apology? We'll have to YouTube that. Maybe we'll find it.
You know what? I've looked. I even called the station but they've changed hands since, and they don't have any record of it. I've called. I made it. I conducted my own investigation on that because I wanted to find it.
Wow.
And I hope there's one listener out there that heard the same thing I did and will validate my claim, which I know is absolutely true and factual, and let me know or us know that they heard it also. Again, he used to do the Man Show, Girls on Trampolines, and now he's this little righteous little talk show bitch like the rest of them. And I find him completely repulsive.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
I'm not a fan. I am not a fan by any means.
Let's move on before the cops knock at my door like they did when some guy.
What was that? We're looking at it. Said podcaster was
paid a visit by the police after
after Twitter comments.
Yeah. About AOC. Well, I'll say this. AOC's an idiot. Okay. AOC's an idiot. And although she's a very attractive girl, like most chicks that are like so attractive like her, she's an absolute psychopath. All right. So if you want to come knocking at my door, knock. Yeah. I didn't say anything untrue.
Just remember where Bill's comments come from. They don't come from this house.
Yeah, that's my comments.
Get Bill's
this
house.
This is not a true reflection of the Get Home Safe podcast. It's my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So come. I'll have hot coffee and donuts ready for you guys. Come on by.
Well said. What a guy, Bill, taking ownership of your opinions. That is brand new out there. That doesn't seem to go around very much. Okay. Our question from Margie, our loyalist of listeners. She says, "Hi, Matt. It's me again. Hope all is well. Here's my question for Bill. How old were you when you dropped your first F-bomb? And did you get sent home from kindergarten that day?" I was going to say preschool, but Bill and I are from the same generation, and we didn't have preschool back then. We got thrown right into kindergarten, where we took naps and ate glue. Thanks, Matt. Enjoying the shows, Margie.
Okay. My first F-bomb was uttered very, very, very soon in life. I was born in 1959. Okay. And I take credit for the first time a doctor slapped a kid on the ass to make sure they were breathing. They say that's what they do now. The reason I was slapped and people say we slap them on the ass to get them breathing is because when I came out of the womb, the first word I said was "fuck me," and the doctor, completely astonished, slapped me on the butt and for discipline reasons, and didn't do any good because I've been uttering it ever since.
Just the foul-mouthed.
Right. No, that's a joke, obviously. I think it was probably, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you remember like building up the courage? Okay, I'm going to say it. Or did it just come out? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I know I was, I always had a potty mouth pretty young, and I didn't get it from my parents. Okay. My mom didn't start saying the F word till she was about 75 years old when I used to, piss her off and whatnot. But, and my dad was mellow. I don't know where I got it. Probably from kids at school or watching TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, the F word, Bill Barnes.
Well,
yeah. I would say if we removed that from your episodes, we'd probably lose half of your verbiage.
We would, and I would be a much better human being for it, but there's no reason to go there right now. I'll just keep being the heathen that I am.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we did get a question from somebody wanting to get your opinion, Bill, on how shall I say this delicately, the appearance of Kamala Harris and some of her wardrobe. I believe that the quote here was hooker attire. Have you witnessed or seen any of these wardrobes that we speak of?
Well, I'll just start with this. I dislike the woman. Okay. She's our vice president. I get it. I don't think she's qualified. I think she's way in over her head. All these hysterical hyena laughs she does is because she is completely caught off guard and can't answer simple questions that have to do with being an elected politician. She's in way over her head. She is drowning. And, you know, I have not seen so many pantsuits since Hillary Clinton. Hooker attire, I mean, I don't know. I don't give it any thought because
it's a little extreme.
Yeah, I think it is. I just think here's the bottom line: you can dress a turd that is all gold, polished in gold, and there's still a turd. So no matter what you put on to wear, it's the inside of you. And I don't like her.
I know you don't like
I don't like Jill Biden. If you want to talk hooker attire, take a look at her.
What was that?
I think she's a woman, probably, I'm going to guess in her late 60s, maybe. And she's wearing fishnets and high heels as a first lady.
Come on now.
First of all, I don't care if you were, an insurance salesman for State Farm and you're at that age. A woman of that age has no business wearing fishnets and high heels. I don't care who you are.
Well, my issue, again, this could be coming. This isn't partisan issue. My thing is that, all this grief on Melania Trump and her appearance and her, I mean, she's gorgeous, by the way, and how people wanted to diminish her looks all the time. Yet the Biden presidency they're praised, they are worshiped. And it's like, the media is so crooked, man.
It comes down to this. Most Republicans, most people that are working all day have other things to do than to bash, unless they're like us, where that's what we get paid to do. Unless they're like us who study these things and then save it all up for one day a week and we can just unload on people. Most people are working. Most people don't have time to surf social media and make outlandish, stupid comments. And the ones that do that's all they do because A, they're not working. B, they're not being productive. So what else can they do? Sit around and make surly comments about national figures. And that's why Melania got hammered. And that's why Jill is not, because the people that were hating Melania love Jill. And they're not about to bash her. And the ones that hate her like me have other things to do.
Yeah. No, it is interesting what people dwell on, the things people are concerned about, or at least give the perception that they care about. So, Bill, what do you got? A Jack Daniels?
No, it's coffee, and I'll tell you why it's coffee.
In a red Solo cup?
In a red Solo cup.
Only
because
Bill.
Matt's a cheap Scrooge and won't let me drink in a regular coffee cup because A, he doesn't want to wash the dishes, and B, I don't think he's got any clean ones. So I had to bring my own Solo cup and pour my own coffee here. And as you see at my house, I have cups.
This is true.
I have regular coffee cups, and he puts all his money into this lavish studio, and meanwhile, I'm drinking out of a red Solo cup, for Christ's sake.
Man, hot coffee out of a red Solo. That's a new one, Bill.
You do what you got to do.
I guess so. Wow. Well, let me ask you this real quick, a vaccination question, because you're vaccinated, and I've heard, from all the higher ups, well, if you're vaccinated, you still got to do this or that. Why is it though that people who have been vaccinated, such as yourself,
vaccinated,
see, I don't even know the terms.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you for helping me. Vaccinated. Those of you who've been vaccinated, why should they care if other people are vaccinated? You know what I mean? I'm not saying you, but some people have this agenda that, well, I've got vaccinated, so you do too. Well, what do you care if you're vaccinated, so you're not in harm's way anymore, right?
I worry about me. Okay. I have my second one coming up next on Tuesday, the 20th, 4/20. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And for those that it's a personal choice. Okay. I'm not losing sleep at night over people that decide they don't want to get it.
Mhm.
I don't care. If you think you can if you think you can outlast it, and just bank on herd immunity and think that you're not going to get it, well, bully for you. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I'm getting them, and I think it's overkill, and it's cosmetic. It's just cosmetic when you wear a mask after you've been vaccinated.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think when they got polio vaccines back in the 60s, they didn't make you still wear a mask, did they?
I wasn't around. I don't know.
I was young, and I don't think you did. I just hope. I mean, I'm just glad.
Here's another photo of our vice president who's been vaccinated and is wearing a mask.
Yeah, and it said "brighter days ahead." She was quoted saying "brighter days ahead." And my comment to that is, well, great. I guess you're going to resign.
Is that leadership to be how do you say it? Vaccinated and to then wear a mask as the president and vice president? Why would they be wearing masks?
Because they're trying to. I'm sure she just put it on for the photo.
That tells me that masks are absolutely worthless. If you're saying, yeah, just put it on anyway. Like, I just want consistency. That's all I want. Tell me the rules and I'll play by them.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I wear a mask now, to be honest with you, is because I don't want some idiot, yelling at me like, "Hey, where's your mask?" And I have to end up, leg sweeping them and beating their ass. Okay. That's the only reason I do. All right. Just to avoid confrontation. But I'll tell you what, in a few more months, especially after June 15th, maybe into the fall, these things better go away, or at least they better not be mandated, because I'm thinking, well, why did we do what we did then just to have to keep wearing these damn things?
Mm-hmm.
And they say they're following the science. Well, the science changes daily.
If I hear that one more time, the science. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, when you were out there last night on your date, what was the vibe? Were people happy to be out? Were they?
Yes. However, the place I went to was strictly adhering distance rules as far as tables, etc. So you were spaced out and you had your own little pot. I liked it, to be honest with you.
I don't know how.
I liked it because
6 feet.
I didn't have people breathing down my neck, and I didn't have people standing behind me. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh, look, privacy.
So
cool.
It has its advantages.
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely.
But people were, what's crazy to me is while I'm waiting for my table or my seat, you got to have a mask on. As soon as I sit down, even though I don't have a drink yet, I can take my mask off.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't get that.
Danger. Now it's safe.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever.
People are restaurants. They're doing what they have to do. They have no choice really. Some of them are fighting back, which is great to see. But anyway, Bill, let's get into some baseball. Sunday night is kind of where we should start. The Sunday night baseball game, tie game in the 9th inning. The top of the 9th inning. So the visiting team batting. We saw fly ball to left, a tag up, a play at the plate. You were texting me about this play, originally called safe on the field, right? Mm-hmm. For the go-ahead run. Goes to replay, and I'll let you take it from there.
All right. It was in the Philadelphia-Atlanta game last night. Go-ahead run, top of the 9th. The play is safe at the plate. In real time, it looked like, hey man, he got it right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In real time. They went to replay, and it shows that the foot was on top of the plate, not touching the plate.
Right over the top.
Over the top of it. And I'm thinking, geez, this is going to get overturned. Well, they stayed with the safe call, and the Atlanta manager ended up blowing his stack, which I don't blame him. And he got ejected for arguing after I believe he got ejected.
Okay. I
believe he did. If not, he should have, but they took a pass on it. I think he did. So anyway, and there was another play in New York that ended in a walk-off hit batsman.
Yes, the walk-off
which I thought was even more egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Because the umpire started to call strike 3, and then he stopped mid-mechanic and awarded first base, and that is not reviewable. And like Ron Darling said, hey, why do we have replay if we can't get it right? That was not reviewable. Okay. Well, in looking at it over again, the ball was in the strike zone.
Yeah.
And the umpire's first instinct was absolutely true and correct.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been a dead ball strike 3, second out. Instead, he was awarded first base, winning run scores, ball game over. Don Mattingly, who seems to always get screwed, got screwed again somewhat. And they even went to replay to ask maybe, hey, is this reviewable? No. And they upheld the call. And I got to tell you, that's one that if you're going to have replay and you're going to, try to get shit right, that was a perfect example of having replay and making it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't, in that situation, to break it down, you can only review if it hit the batter. You can't rule his intent going into the pitch or reviewing the pitch in or out of the strike zone, because that's balls and strikes. So there was nothing really that they could review. Now, so are you saying, Bill, either all or nothing, let's get rid of replay, or just review absolutely everything?
I'm not naive enough to think that it's going to that it's going to be removed. However, you can improve it.
Mm-hmm.
You can improve it. One way is, I know that manpower, it would be a problem having a 5-man crew and having the 5th umpire you rotate you have 5 positions now, 3 bases, a plate, and replay, and be there on scene in the stadium, whether you're where the replay guy is, the $4.45 an hour guy that comes out with the monitor and shows the crew chief the play, or you're in the press box and maybe you are the sole decider whether it should be reviewed or not, or you look at it and you're there on scene. You may take it a little, I'm not saying you don't, but if you're there where the manager can vent after you've not gone his way, it may put a little more emphasis on you taking it a little more serious. And I'm not trying to slide. I mean, far be it for me to slight, the people that do that. Okay. It's a thankless, tough job, just like being on the field is. But I think there's ways it can be improved. If it was up to me, I'd do away with it completely.
I agree. Okay. I think replay, its original intent was the egregious error. Going back to the Jim Joyce play, the Andre Galarraga or whatever's the perfect game.
And let's fast forward the egregious play the other day in New York. Yeah, that could be overturned but they don't have a rule for it. Well, let's just,
look at
to end a game. There should be, I don't care what the deal is, to end a game on a walk-off situation like that, review
any game in. That's not a bad idea. Any game-ending play
regarding I don't care if it's fan interference or if the ball hits a bird in the outfield. If there's some kind of game-ending situation that decides the game like that, review it.
Yeah, regardless of what it is. Yeah,
because I know, bless his heart, Ron Culpa would like to have that play back.
Oh yeah, and he said it afterwards. He said, "I messed up. I called it. He didn't call it too quick. He was right, and then he switched. Just didn't process it all." And
any play where an umpire says the next day, like Jimmy Joyce did back in 2010, I kicked the shit out of that. I caused that kid a perfect game. Yeah. Then that should be, by God, reviewed, because
no one wants that on there. But back to the play in the Braves game, I understand absolutely where that play in full speed, even not on the field, but looking at it in regular speed, I can understand why that play was ruled out, or no,
safe.
Ruled safe.
I can too.
Yeah, but he looks
if
safe.
You're gonna review, unless there's cameras that the guys in the headquarters see that we don't see, unless there are cameras that show his toe brushing over the plate, I think the guy was out. Okay, and they'd have been absolutely within their right to overturn that thing. So if that's the case, Major League Baseball needs to kind of let the fans know and let the media know, folks, we have these cameras. Major League Baseball in their Park Avenue headquarters have more cameras than we do. There could have been something that we didn't see, they saw, that upheld the play. Very simple. Very simple.
What do you make on baseball eventually going to some type of microphone announcement like you see in the NFL or hockey.
I thought they were going to do that.
Yeah.
I'd heard that was in the works and it was going to be a done deal. But I guess that's still on the back burner, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great thing. More communication, the better.
Well, because and it'd be new for umpires, but they could adjust to it. And
Sure
a lot of times you got to explain it to the opposing manager anyway when something is overturned. So if you could just say after review, the runner's foot did in fact touch the plate on a camera or whatever.
Yes.
Call is overturned. Whatever. You know.
By review from our New York headquarters, there's video evidence that the toe did in fact touch the plate. Therefore, the runner is the runner's safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Very simple. Very simple. And that shuts me up the next day, second guessing them. That shuts everybody up.
I just think replay causes more problems than it fixes. Does that make sense?
It does. It does at times, unless it's very, very, very egregious. And when those plays happen, you don't see a manager or the player involved saying a word.
Mm-hmm.
They know it.
Yeah. They just it's just so weird. It's so different. I mean, some people are like, no, you have the technology, use it, but you're seeing more and more problems with it anyway. So yeah, tough play in New York. Because there was a few players after the game, Bill, in Atlanta, they said, we need to just do away with replay. They said that. And I was like, well, yeah, but you'll change your mind if it goes the other way against you next week.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it all comes out in the wash.
I know it certainly does. Okay, well, let's talk about some ejections that have happened recently. One of the first ones was in Cincinnati, I believe. Yes. Okay, so here's the situation. There was a hit by pitch in Cincinnati. Nick Castellanos, he gets hit, comes around the bases anyway. There's a pass ball play at the plate. He slides in and then kind of stands over the pitcher and, talks crap on him, whatever. He starts to walk away. The bench is empty, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So Castellanos was ejected. And, you and I have both been around games where it doesn't ever look like much, but body language is really what matters and starting things up. So I don't know if you remember that play, but anytime a player stands over someone and does something demonstrative, taunt them. Yeah. Because it just leads to problems. And at that point, someone's got to go.
Yeah. You want to kind of, extinguish the weed that is starting the whole unruly problem in your yard. You want to get rid of that one. So in that case, they kind of did the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was just kind of weird seeing the first one like that. What was another rejection we had? There was, there's been a few on balls and strikes. Imagine that. Didn't expect to see that.
Balls and strikes. Okay. The box that they put is not a true representation of balls and strikes, people. Okay. And I've also seen some really bad catching. Catching over the years has gotten dog shit. You're taking a good pitch at the bottom of the zone and you're yanking it up and you're telling that umpire, it wasn't a strike, it was close, and I'm going to try to make it look better. Well, guess what? You're not going to get that pitch. Mm-hmm. Catch it where it's pitched, okay? Or catch it and thumb it. Boom. That's all you got to do. You don't need to jerk it. You jerk it, you're not going to get the pitch.
Yeah, you telling me you didn't like that pitch. Right. You telling me it wasn't quite good enough.
Right.
So yeah, I think catchers do too much, and they're taught it for some reason.
And I don't get it. I mean, you might get away with that in high school baseball. You might even get away with it in college, but in the big leagues, these umpires are too good.
Yeah. There was an ejection in Baltimore. Jeremy Rehack, who's an up and down guy, I believe. I don't think he's been hired.
He's got a full-time job now, I think.
Is he full-time?
Yeah, I think so.
He's a great umpire. I think he's does some really good work. He's always in the middle of some situations. That's nothing against him. It's just how the game is. There was a play, and we've seen this play, Bill, where a pitch comes in on the batter, kind of hits him on the hands as he's turning, he's opening up. Mm-hmm. And no doubt it was a hit by pitch, but the next question is, hey, did he swing? And you check with your base umpire, and the base umpire said, yeah, he swung. So it really sucks if it's 2 strikes because now you're out, but so it's hilarious to me when announcers, I guess I hold them to higher standards when they're like, what?
That's your first mistake.
I know. And they're saying, wait, are they saying it's a foul ball? It's like, no, it hit him. It hit his pitch. He swung. It's like, you can't piece all that together. Anyway, that was the Jeremy Rehack ejection. And I think some people may not understand that if you swing and you're hit by the ball,
it's called a dead ball strike.
Dead ball. You swung at the pitch, even though you got hit. Doesn't matter. Let me see. Anyway, there was
my good friend, Mr. Laz Diaz, had an ejection yesterday.
I saw him looking at it right now.
He was the crew chief, acting crew chief in Minnesota. Situation where warnings were administered, and then there was I know there was warnings. There was warnings, and by rule, you cannot argue that.
You cannot argue. You can't argue that. You can't argue it.
The manager, Scott Service from Seattle, came out of the dugout, argued it. Laz put his hand up like you're taught to do, warned him. I counted 2 or 3 warnings. The plate guy, Manny Gonzalez, did the same thing. And finally, Service said one too many things. The warnings were not listened to, and Laz ejected him. To me, that's a great ejection because by rule,
you're covered.
He's covered, and he's enforcing the rules as written. And in my opinion, Service is either ignorant or wanted to get ejected.
And that could be the case.
Okay?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, he was obliged.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, that to me is a no-brainer ejection. And I'm not saying this just because Laz is my friend. I'm saying it because he did it correctly.
Yeah. And if you guys see umpires out there and you see them put up the stop sign, it's so everyone can see it. Hey, this is a warning. You can't you're not allowed to argue this, or you've argued enough and it's time to move on. We're not talking about it anymore. It's like that last a warning. And then what's funny is guy ends up getting ejected, and then everyone's like, oh, well, that was so quick. And it's like, you just saw him warn him. You just saw him go through the whole motion and all that. So that's just kind of some insight.
The rules of baseball are so deep and so long, and there's so many of them that people just don't, unless you read the rule book and know it backwards and forwards and are well-versed with it, you're not going to know. The average baseball fan does not know that by rule, you cannot argue box, you cannot argue warnings, you cannot argue
check swings, any swing.
Yeah. I mean, you can bark from the dugout to where you're not making a complete ass of yourself, but if you come out of the dugout and you create the situation, you're going to get addressed. And if you don't follow your warning, you will be ejected.
Yes.
Simply put.
You cannot leave your position to argue balls and strikes or, whatever. And guys will play around with it. They will go to the mound, talk to their pitcher, and then you go out there and they start arguing the pitches. They're like, hey, I'm not arguing. I'm just asking where the pitch is. So there's a whole game within a game that managers and coaches are pretty smart about. And players, everybody knows, they know how things are supposed to be. And if they don't, they learn rather quickly.
If you really want to send a message to the umpire, you'll wait on that, and you'll come out between innings and you'll pretend like you're making a change, and you'll say, hey, Matt, really? I mean, take a look at that after the game and see what you think. I really thought that, warnings weren't necessary, and just take a look. If you really want to send a message, if you really want to tactically argue a point, that's the way you do it. But if you're backing your player, if you're showing support for him and you want to get ejected, that's part of the game too. Mm-hmm. But don't bitch that it was a bad ejection, because it was a good warranted ejection.
Well, conversely, so a similar ejection, Greg Gibson had one in the Cubs Pirates game on Sunday as well. Excuse me. And there was a similar situation, hit by pitch. And this I hate it, Bill. I hate this. Bring the crew together to discuss whether to give warnings or not, instead of the plate guy just handling business, doing it I almost think it escalates things. So Gibson is bringing in the guys to talk. And meanwhile, someone in the dugout pops off. Probably didn't say something very vanilla. It was probably something pretty heavy. And Gibson jacked him from the game. So sometimes it's a quick hook because it deserves a quick hook. I hate the huddle.
Well, that's the way it is now. You can hate it all you want.
I'm not in charge. Bill, let's see. We have played April 1st was the opening day.
So 12 days.
12 days, 8 ejections.
Hey.
We're
on a solid pace.
That is a good pace. I thought people would be a little more well behaved.
It'll level off.
Yeah. I believe it was the first no-hitter in Padres history.
Correct.
Back on Friday, April 9th.
After 52 years, I believe.
Wow. Good for the Padres. Plate umpire Vic Carapazza called the game down there in, was it in San Diego or was it in?
It was on the road. It was in Texas, I believe.
Okay.
It was in Dallas, where in Fort Worth or Arlington,
where
they have sellout crowds, I might add.
I know. I love it, Bill. Or is that offensive to you? That
I love it.
Yeah.
They stack them 10 deep. I could care less.
Oh boy. Yeah. God bless Texas, man. I've said it often and I will continue to say it. Well, Bill, any other baseball related topics that you've seen?
No, I've been lukewarm on baseball because of the old Manfred thing.
Yeah.
And he's a political puppet and I have no respect for the guy. And I've been a little lukewarm with it. So, and I know it's not all the players, they're paid to play, not take political stances. So, I'll get back to it, I'm sure, but I've just been a little lukewarm. Plus I've been busy. I've been doing things.
I know you're a busy man. Did you hear Rob Manfred? So he moves the All-Star game out of Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear he has a membership to Augusta, the country club there, the golf? He's a member of Augusta. I'm wondering, is he going to?
Well, he's a hypocrite.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I wonder if he's going to resign.
I hope they revoke it. They don't let my good friend Gary McCord, who's a Riverside native, Ramona High School graduate. They don't let Gary broadcast the Masters anymore because he made some funny statements back in the mid 90s, I believe, about the greens being so fast that you need your bikini wax to wax them. And he got bounced for saying that, which is completely astonishing to me.
Wow.
And you're going to let this hypocritical guy who's costing Georgia money still be a member? Boot him too.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
What? No, I had heard that. I go, he's a member. He's a member of a Georgia Augusta, the big golf club. Wait a minute.
Gary McCord is as funny in person as he is on TV announcing golf. I used to see him, especially at holiday time. He would come back to Riverside and I'd see him out to dinner, at places and, hey, Gary, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. He didn't know who I am. He probably did, but he's a nice guy and he should not have been dealt that, in my opinion.
Wow. I didn't know any of that. And then how funny, Bill, they moved from Georgia, from Atlanta to Denver. And Colorado has almost as strict, if not worse, I shouldn't say worse, but as strict or certain rules as Georgia does. It's absolute hypocrisy.
Don't get me started.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Way to go, Manfred.
You are a moron.
It's just so stupid. Okay. I think we've talked enough baseball for today. Bill, what else is on your mind, man? Talk to me. What's going on?
Well, I had a surprising little online conversation Friday night with one of the stars of Seinfeld.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are we talking like a series regular or a very famous
one that made one really impactful episode, and then I think he was on the finale as well.
Okay.
The Soup Nazi.
Whoa,
Larry Thomas.
Wow. What do you mean interact? Wait, you can tell us a story. What happened?
He months ago, I saw him he came across my possible friends thing. I said, yeah, what the hell? So I said, I tried to add him. Well, lo and behold, he accepts my friendship. And, I had never tried to reach out. I just read his posts every once in a while. And the other day he had one that said, in his soup chef outfit, it said, no spring for you. Come back in 1 month. And I said, oh, that's clever. So the dumbass that I am, I saved the picture. I messaged him. I said, hey, man, you should get royalties for this or something. Well, instead of, doing my homework and not looking and, before, being Mr. Captain Obvious, I should have researched, because he wrote me back and said, hey, Sony gets the royalties. I have nothing on this, basically. And I've seen this for the last 20 years. This is nothing new, but I still appreciate, the attention, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote back and basically said, hey, man, I should have done my due diligence. Sorry for being Captain Obvious. Wish you the best. And I'm thinking he probably thought I was a complete dick and I never hear from him again.
No soup for you.
He writes back And he's very, very nice. He says, hey, man, don't take it personal, blah, 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 blah. Then I go on and tell him, he goes on to explain that, he doesn't get, he thought that because this slogan has been around forever, that he would have gotten more love from Hollywood, from the producers.
Oh yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. And I said, well, hey man, I go, I'm a guest on a podcast every week. Love to have you on the show. And, for about 30 minutes, I don't hear anything. And which is, I'm thinking, okay, he's not interested, but he writes back. He goes, hey, that's great. He goes, I told him we'd give him a shout out.
Oh yeah.
And I'll send him the link to this. And he said, hey, that's great. He goes, if you need any more information, I have books, I have music. So if you look him up, if you look up Larry Thomas, it'll give you a whole plethora of books that he's done, songs that he's done. And he also does videos for people who want to be wished happy birthday.
Oh, cool.
Or happy Valentine's Day, or happy this, happy that. And I think it's like, some nominal fee. And he'll do that in his soup Nazi type rhetoric. And I can't believe, he was in an episode of Scrubs where he's laying in bed with some hot chick. I remember that show. And I remember him being out there a little bit, but I'm surprised that he didn't have more movie roles, more TV roles, because we've all aged. But back in the day, and I'm saying this, I was from one man to another, good looking guy.
Yeah.
He kind of had he was kind of a mix of Omar Sharif and Tom Selleck, if you can picture that. And I'm thinking, and he's aged well. And I think he's probably about my age, maybe a little older now. And so I'm thinking, this guy needs a shot to get back to doing things rather than sitting home on a Friday night, Facebooking with some jackass that sent him an old picture from years ago.
We got to get him on.
So
man.
Larry, man, I'm going to send you this link, and I want you to think long and hard about, giving us a shout on the show. We'll zoom you in, and you can tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, where you've been, where you want to go. And he did send me a private message later on in the evening, and he asked, we had two mutual friends, two of which they're both beautiful, hot women. And he wanted to know how the hell I knew them, which is a great question. But one I knew from a work friend years ago. The other, I just, randomly friended her, and from the kindness of her heart, thinking I was some, degenerate guy living in a basement, she probably friended me back. So with that said, anyway, and we shared some other information. So I know we've got some Seinfeld friends out there that are a lot like me, that have watched every episode several times, can recite lines. And I think the best show ever made for television ever. Larry David is a genius when it comes to that. And so with that said, Google him, look him up, give him some love, maybe, purchase some of his records, purchase some of his music, his books, and get him to shout out to one of your loved ones for a happy birthday, or for a prank call, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's able.
Oh, that'd be so cool. You'd be like, no, this is the authentic soup Nazi.
This is the soup Nazi. This is not a some phantom soup Nazi. This is the man.
Well, so if we have him on, it's through Zoom, you and I will be sitting just like this, chatting with him, and we got to have that day. We have to have bowls of soup. It would be so fitting. You and I have to eat soup while we talk.
Yes,
to
and bread, $2. $2, no bread for you. Okay, so yeah, we'll figure something out.
Oh man, you see, guys, just big things coming up here on the podcast. So it's all about who you know, and we're gonna try to get some big time guests on here. We're about out of Rio Hondo prep guest, Bill. So now we got to go into show business.
Oh my God, thank God. Thank God.
I could still get a few.
Wow.
Friday, I do have a Rio Hondo prep guest, an alum,
shocking,
who's got some time as a stand-up comedian. done some voiceovers. Gonna be some. He's been the MC of a circus. Be sure to tune in on Friday. We got a fun episode.
Wow.
With Mike McGarren.
Mike McGarren. Never heard of him. But I guess I will on Friday.
You will on Friday.
Okay.
He's probably heard his voice before. Let's put it that way. So,
sure I have.
In some voiceovers. Well, that is great news.
So Larry, you got some competition. Mike McGarren is going to come on the show. Then that means that you, by God, better come on.
Yes. And if we can get a hold of some other Seinfeld people, we'll see what we can do.
I got to call into Jerry. He hasn't called me back yet.
Drinking coffee or driving a car somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is outstanding. Bill, what gives you this courage to just talk to random people like that? You're such a
probably a mixture of desperation and alcohol. I don't know. I just you know what I figured. Hey, what's the worst they're gonna do? Ignore me?
You're gonna put him in jail?
I've been ignored. I've been ignored my whole life. What's another one?
You have been. That's why we have the podcast so that you can vent.
I asked. When I used to do Pepperdine games back in the early 2000s. Pam Anderson would go to the games, and her son was a bad boy. I asked her out a couple times, and she looked at me. She goes, "Yeah," and I'm thinking, why not?
You're not a drummer,
right? And I don't have other things either that the drummer did. So I'm thinking, I'm not stupid enough to ask her out. For those of you that are taking me serious, but she used to bring our checks to us in the locker room.
No way.
Yes. Hi guys. Steve wanted me to bring you these.
Oh,
Steve Rodriguez.
What a move. What a move.
That's a pro move.
Yeah, it sure is.
Pam Anderson's coming in our locker room, and I got a jock strap and a pair of socks on, and there she is. And I'm thinking, well done.
Yeah.
So
she be in that front row sometimes watching the Pepperdine Waves down in Malibu.
Yeah.
There's a few good reasons to go down and work games. Yeah, beautiful view. Beautiful view.
Pepperdine. Let me tell you something. Pepperdine had, Chris Carter, the guy who was the creator, producer of the X-Files.
Oh,
threw out a first pitch one time when I was there.
All right.
And I made sure that I ran as he came off the mound. I made sure that I ran right past him and go, "Hey man, I love your work." And he looked back and he goes, "Really?" I go, "Love it." He goes, "Fantastic." And he kept walking. And I kept waiting to get a note from him saying, "Hey, I want you in my next show," because he's a baseball lover.
Oh, really?
Well, Scully, the female, what was her name? It was something Scully. He named that character after Vin Scully.
Oh, really? I was wondering what the issue was there. Okay.
Yes, Agent Scully after Vin Scully.
Scully and Isles? Kyle?
No. The male, I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, big baseball guy.
Big baseball. Bill, who are some of the other people you have seen that Mulder and Scully? Who are some of the other famous people, celebrities you've seen?
Jane Seymour, met her.
Really?
Her son pitched for Cal State LA.
No way.
And I looked in the stands. The stands are right on top.
Oh yeah, can't miss them. Can't miss people.
I'm working third base, and I asked Vinny. I go, "Vinny, who's the coach for LA?" I said, "Is that?" I go, "God." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Jane Seymour. Her kid's like the pitcher on the team. He never pitches because he's bad, but she's a mom. She comes to the games." I go, "You got to put him in sometimes."
Yeah.
I go, "Come on."
If I'm on the plate, they're all strikes.
So I made sure when the game was over. Well, you have to walk through their bullpen.
Oh yeah.
On the third base side, I made sure that she was walking when I was walking, and I said, "Jane, love your work." She looked at me and kind of a blank stare and goes, "Thank you." That was it. That was her chance, and she passed. I don't blame her.
She passed.
She took a pass.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, right? Wasn't it?
Yes.
And also in Wedding Crashers, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Great actress. She has aged well, right?
She has
aged extremely well.
She has. Once I planted the seed for a relationship, and she ignored me. I really haven't followed her career since.
Trying to think other celebrities. Well, we talked about seeing Mike Leach. That was at a Brandon baseball game.
Oh my God, that was a highlight.
That was, man. You were
huge highlight.
You were fired up.
Oh yeah.
You just jacked to see Coach Leach. Who else? I know we've seen some celebrities in our travels either throwing out a first pitch.
Muhammad Ali was at a Pepperdine game.
What?
One of his sons from God only knows which marriage he had was a backup catcher for Louisville.
Oh, okay. Louisville. Yeah, that makes sense.
He was on the team, and Ali was there, and didn't get close to him. It was during the game, and they were golf carting him out. And Tommy Lasorda used to go to.
Saw him a lot at Cal State Fullerton.
He used to go. He went to Pepperdine games.
Mm-hmm.
God, I saw Eric Karros at a Pepperdine game.
Did I tell you?
Not a Pepperdine game, a Loyola Marymount game.
Oh, Karros, was his kid playing? I know he went to UCLA, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know why he was there. He was only there like 2 or 3 innings.
Okay. I know. Did I ever tell you my Mark Schlereth story?
Who's Mark Schlereth?
The offensive lineman. He's on. He does like Fox broadcast now.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman for Denver and Washington.
Well, his kid was a pro pitcher, wasn't he?
Yeah, he pitched at Arizona, and he was. They were playing at Cal State Fullerton, and I was there with some Rio kids on a little outing, and I said, "Guys, that's Mark Schlereth. He's on ESPN or whatever." So we go over and say hello, and he's just sitting there watching the game, off by himself, right? No, not around a bunch of people, and we bothered him, and one of the kids goes, "Yeah, I'm a Raider fan, but I still like you." And Mark Schlereth, who played for the Broncos and the Redskins, he goes, "Oh, I like the Raiders. You know why I like the Raiders? Because I was 11-1 against them. That's why I like the Raiders."
Yeah,
God bless you, Mark Schlereth.
There you go, classy move.
Yeah,
love it. A guy named Hutton Moyer played second base for Pepperdine. His dad is Jamie Moyer, the pitcher, lefty who played 27 years.
Oh, like till he was like 50, didn't he?
His grandfather, people don't know, is Digger Phelps, which was the old basketball coach at Notre Dame. He was named after Tommy Hutton, who was a pitcher, a first baseman for the Dodgers way back, got traded to the Phillies, and was a good friend of Jamie's. That's who he was named after, Hutton Moyer. And so I'm working there at Pepperdine, and he sparked some conversation with me between innings. I'm out behind second base, and I go, "Hey man, how's your grandpa doing?" He goes, "You know my grandpa?" I go, "No, but I just know who he is." "Wow, man, that's great. Wow." And you'd have thought that we became best buddies then. And so he was in a slump, and I'd never do this, never. But he came out and he goes, "Bill, what's wrong with me?" I said, "I don't think you're seeing the I don't think you're seeing the whole pitch, man." I go, "Think about going the opposite way once in your life." That's all I said. He runs out. He goes like 4 for 4 in his next 4 at bats, and I see him the next game. I goes, "Bill, you're a genius, man. You should be you shouldn't be an umpire. You should be a hitting coach." I said, "Come on, man." I go, "That's way over my pay grade." He goes, "No, man. What you told me just to see a pitch, that looks great." I go, "Well,
thanks.
Okay."
Yeah.
I thought, wow, I've kind of maybe crossed the line a little bit, but they give us pointers every once in a while.
A little advice.
Try to get in better position. Maybe not call that pitch that's 2 inches off the plate on them. They give us advice.
Mm-hmm. I think it's absolutely righteous for us to share our opinions.
Now that I don't do it anymore, if people are mad at me, I don't give a shit. Okay. No, I didn't go out and buy him dinner. I didn't go out and drink with him. I didn't go out and, do anything like that.
I don't know how many times during a game I'm like,
just chit chat.
Yeah. Why'd you hit and run there?
Right.
Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Like,
that keeps me in the game.
Oh, you have to be ready. Absolutely.
Ready.
Didn't you see Lamar Odom at a Northridge game? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw Lamar was there opening day about 2013, 14, right after he had his little wing-ding in Pahrump, Nevada. And he had gone to rehab, and he's looking good. And he was sitting there. I saw Lamar. Yep. And I called Chuck Lyon over. I go, Chuck, come here. I go, "That's Lamar Odom." He goes, "No way, that ain't him." I go, "You want to bet?" And finally, I convinced Chuck that, yeah, that's Lamar Odom. And he was there. Why at Northridge? I have no idea.
Matador baseball to sober you up, man.
Wow. Yeah. But that'll keep you. That probably he probably want to start drinking again after.
Oh boy. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. You showed me that.
Or Lamar Odom.
First pitch or something. Yeah. Some of you see people in the most random places.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I mean, just so weird. Well, Bill, it's been fun. What else? Anything else? We're going to go in about 1:05, not quite as long as we usually do, but I don't know. I'm trying to think what else we got out there.
We got lots of stuff. We could stay here all day, but we can't because we're both busy people. Even though we're paid very, very handsomely for this job, we do have other things that we need to do today.
Yeah, we do. I mean, the packages aren't going to ship themselves, and the boxes aren't going to be guarded themselves. Work to be done.
There's yeah, exactly. There's an ass for every chair. So,
well, I am really excited about this new setup, this new situation. It might require you coming here a little more often.
I got a reason to get up on a Monday and get out of the house.
Yeah. Red Solo cup full of coffee. I mean,
certainly.
That's the way to go.
Certainly. And, we were a little toned down today.
I'd say so.
We talked about things that were tangible with some good adult spirited conversation rather than me, launching a bunch of expletive deleteds. But we're going to try that. And if we're not popular, then I'll go back to my old raunchy ways.
Yes. Well, now that we're on YouTube, we got more viewership. I mean,
yes.
We're going to see what the people say. The people have spoken, you know, and I know you got some great feedback from some of your buddies who had never seen the show before and were liking your Facebook video, YouTube videos. So big things ahead for the podcast. Guys, as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Phone your friends, phone your family, wake up the neighbors.
What is that? Phone your friends,
phone your family, and wake up the neighbors.
Where'd you get that?
That's an old David Letterman line.
Oh, it is. You steal
90% of this shit I spew is stolen. Okay. All right. They have no proprietary rights.
There's no proprietary.
Okay.
That's stolen too.
That's stolen too.
I know where you got that one from.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, good times ahead, Bill Barnes. I don't know how much.
God willing.
Yeah, God willing. There's another one.
Another one I stole.
Your whole vocabulary is thievery.
Well, that's how you start talking as a kid. When you're upbringing, you steal everything you hear.
Like your first F-bomb.
My first F-bomb.
Full circle.
And again, I don't know where I got that. I really don't. But again, I don't trust anybody that doesn't drink, and I don't trust anybody that doesn't swear.
Other than that,
you're white. You're wide open with me.
I love it. Well, we'll be back next week. We'll have another Facebook Live on Monday morning, and then immediately after that, record our weekly Wednesday weigh-in episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and please give us some feedback if you like the videos. If you don't like, even if you don't like it, hey, any feedback is good feedback. That's how we learn. So appreciate it, Bill. Looking forward to next week.
Looking forward to next week. Have a champion. Play like a champion today. There's another stolen one from my good Catholic friends.
Sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.